This is Show Me the Nuggets with Joe Troyer. Welcome back to another edition of Show Me the Nuggets. This is Eduardo Trinidad from the team at Digital Triggers. Today we have the first of two episodes with Joe on the stage sharing a content marketing strategy that you can easily swipe and deploy for your business right now. It's a proven strategy that's delivered amazing results for us at Digital Triggers, and it can definitely do the same for you and your business. Here's part one. Let's have a listen.
So today's talk, actually, we're going to be talking about how to 10x your content marketing at push button speed. And I got to thank David for helping me come up with this crazy clickbait title. So David, wherever you're at, thank you so much, brother. So I'm going to show you guys how to dominate content marketing in just 1 to 2 hours a week. So today specifically, I want to zoom in and I want to share with you guys exactly how I have automated my content marketing strategy, all right? And I'm doing this in, again, 1 to 2 hours a week. I'm going to talk about kind of the keys to ranking on YouTube. And there's been some major fundamental shifts over the last year to 18 months in terms of SEO and ranking on YouTube. It's not all just about backlinks anymore. I'm also going to talk about how I'm 6xing my YouTube videos and views for free. I'm going to talk about how to repurpose like a boss. I'm also going to get into how I fixed my plummeting Google organic traffic. So how many of you guys have been to our site, Digital Triggers? Yeah, show of hands. Cool. So that site has always done pretty well organically in terms of traffic, right? We put content on there and it kind of just has ranked. And to be frank, we haven't done a whole lot. But that has really started to decline and really was declining over the last year or two. And I figured out the problem. I have it working now, and it's working really, really well. I'm going to share with you exactly what we did to fix that. So, and the entire goal of the entire presentation is to show you guys how you can rip the entire system and start deploying for yourselves as soon as you guys get back home on Monday. Sound good? All right, great. So I want to give you guys a little bit of a background and a little bit of a history about me. I don't really like long introductions, right? I'm like, let's get to the point. Where's the money? Like, where's the takeaways? Where's the action? But as I've shared more and more my background, my history, it really strengthens my bond with my customers and with my prospects. Okay, how many of you guys have heard like a gut-wrenching story or a story that's similar to yours, and the bond with that person you feel like just goes through the roof, right? So I encourage you guys to do the same in your business. Okay, when you're talking with a prospect, tell them about you, have conversation, become friends, right? And that bond and that trust and that engagement, that rapport that you guys have will really go to the next level, and that'll make all the difference in the world when you ask for that next sale. Makes sense, right? Okay, but most of us are too concerned about what everybody's going to think to actually have that conversation. Okay, and I think that it's super important that you just are open and vulnerable, and it'll really help propel you and your business to the next level. So I was born in Miami. When I was young, 3-4 years old, my mother divorced my father and moved to Northeast Ohio. Actually, the #1 tourist attraction in Ohio, which is Amish country. How many of you guys are familiar with the Amish? Woo! That's some good food, let me tell you, man. So my mother remarried, and I took his last name, Ken. Great man. I couldn't be happier for the environment that I was a part of growing up in Northeast Ohio. Some just really down-to-earth people, great morals, great values, and strategically looking at things now today, I can see why David and John and I have such a strategic relationship and partnership, because we really have the same values. So I was a college dropout, something that I haven't told a whole lot of people. I hated school. Specifically, I'd sit in a lecture, right? And I'd sit there for 90 minutes, and after it was over, right, it would open up for Q&A, and repeatedly, the people would ask the same exact question over and over and over and over, and I just wanted to get up and leave, right? I want to put in the minimum effective dose, I want to learn, I want to do it at my pace, and then I want to move on to the next thing. How many of you guys are like that? Raise your hand. So college just didn't fit me as a person. So I was going to school, by the way, for information technology, which was all then about Windows and networking. Yawn, boring, horrible. I couldn't deal with it either. So pair that with the learning model and the topic. I knew I wanted to do something with computers. I didn't exactly know what. Fast forward, I find a certificate program that you can do at your own pace that'll teach you how to do web design. So it was all like Dreamweaver and Photoshop and Adobe Fireworks back then. Any of you guys been around that long, right, to realize some of those names? Yeah, Front Page, right, crazy stuff. So what was great about it though is that all the stuff was on topic, right? You didn't have to go learn, English and a bunch of other topics that I was never going to use again in my life. So the program typically took 2 to 3 years for most people to complete. I went like all in, and that's me with everything. You guys that follow me, when I pick up a whiff of something, I am all in and I go after it. So I completed the program in just 10 months. So about 8 months into it though, I'm almost done, and I finally kind of come up for air. And I'm like, I really hope this wasn't a mistake like college. Is this going to be another failure? And I start to second guess myself. How many of you guys have often found yourself second guessing yourself? Right? We've all been there so many times. So I figured out, I basically came up with an agreement with myself, a deal. I said, I'm going to take the next 2 days, the next 2 weeks. I'm not going to do any more learning. Okay? I took time off of work. I had a full-time job as well. And I said, I'm not going to do anything, but I'm going to go and prospect only. Okay? Is the skill that I'm learning actually going to put me in a better financial position? Is this the future? Is this where I'm going to go? So I did kind of a little market test, so to speak. Fast forward, and I brought in about $10,000 in contracts in just 2 weeks. Is this viable? Yes. Am I repeating, the insanity with college? No. Okay, so big win. Fast forward, and I built a web design agency. I can tell you guys that that's not fun. Building websites sucks. And we are spoiled today, right? With all the amazing tech with Smart Marketer that they have with their funnel building and site building, we are so freaking spoiled compared to those days back then. Like, we didn't even have like dynamic websites back then, right? Like, it was just crazy. To put something in the footer, you had to go to every page and update the footer, save and then upload it. Like, it was ridiculous. Just a nutso process. And everything is all about how it looks and how it feels and not about getting more customers, right? For me, it's all about the results. It's about getting more customers. So fast forward, and we were lucky enough to be on the front page of the newspaper in this web design company that I built about twice in the span of about 6 or 7 months. I even built a website for the county that we lived in. And I started to realize that all my customers had this fantasy. They all believed that if I built them a website, their business was going to double overnight. It was going to triple overnight. All of a sudden, they would just be raining money from the sky, and they would have so much money, time, and freedom that they wouldn't know what to do with it. How many of you guys have been in a similar circumstance? So I really thought that the next step was marketing. Okay, so just like I did when I dropped out of school, right, I made an investment in that certificate program, right? I made an investment in learning. And so I made another investment to the tune of about $800 or $900 a month to get coaching to learn about marketing, right? Because I saw that really as the frontier and where I wanted to go in my business. So at that point, I'm doing websites, I'm doing marketing, and really the only reason I'm doing websites is just so I can sell the marketing and the recurring on the back end, right? Any of you guys similar circumstance? Cool. So fast forward again, late 2000s, and there's the economic crash. And I thought, hey, I'm in the, largest tourist attraction in Ohio. We're, insulated from the bubble, and I could see things crashing all around me. And it took longer to happen, but it did happen. My clients, one by one, as their recurring charges started to decline, I started waking up and realizing that I better figure out what the hell I'm going to do next. So I literally up and left and shipped off to South Florida, back to my roots, where I live now in West Palm Beach, and I climbed out of the recession. And for me, at that time, it was about finding one vertical, proving results to that one vertical, right? And then scaling, right? So basically exactly what Zach talked about in the last session, right? And that was really good, by the way. I wanted to give Zach a big round of applause. Great job, man. So fast forward, I build another agency. I still have some of my old clients, but basically build another agency focused really on one or two verticals. And we start building software and systems around the agency. And I get introduced to David Sprague. And David's showing me some software that he built and training programs. And I'm like, man, this guy's really smart. Meet with him a couple times, and he keeps tapping me on the shoulder. Joe, you know that call tracking platform you built? That thing's crazy. You need to do something with that. You need to let my customers have it. And my instant gut reaction was like, are you kidding me? I'm going to give each and every one of my competitors this system that I spent, tens of thousands of dollars to build, right? I'm going to give them my upper hand. No, thank you. But you guys know how David is, right? He's relentless. Dog with a bone. If he doesn't taser you first. So David just kept, every time I talked with him, man, you really got to share this with my customers. It's going to make such an impact on them. Man, you really got to share this with my customers. It's going to make such an impact on them. Just repeated over and over and over. And finally, he just wore me down. I was like, all right, man, no problem. What do you want it to be sold for? Tell me the details. No problem. We'll make it happen. And really, I got to thank David for getting me into the training and software space and really opening up and sharing what I have to offer, my systems and processes with the rest of the world. So David, man, thank you so much. Wouldn't be here talking on stage at your event without you, obviously. So who is Joe Troyer? I'm the CEO and founder of Digital Triggers. Again, I've built, acquired, and sold several 6- and 7-figure businesses, really from agencies and software products to traditional brick and mortar businesses. We were doing SEO and doing e-commerce before Shopify was a thing, right? And all the craze like you see today. When I first got into the space, I was really known as an SEO. And really like the SEO's SEO, like the secret that everybody, outsourced their SEO to. We're able to rank for some like ridiculously competitive keywords, like the most notorious niches that you could ever go after, like we just absolutely pummeled. So ranking number 2 for fat loss in Google, right? Crazy, crazy competitive. Ranking number 1 for watches. So some stupid competitive niches. But what a lot of people don't know is that we do a lot of paid media as well. So I have one client alone that just in one funnel, and they have multiple funnels, right, has done over $10 million in just one funnel, okay, through all of our advertising. Right now, as of today, my fulfillment team is managing about $1.6 million per month in Google ad spend. Okay, so we're doing a whole lot more than just organic. We're doing a lot of paid as well. And really the reason that I do it all is my family. I want to give them the life and the upbringing that I never have. That's my beautiful wife on the left, Allison, and we call her the overachiever. She's the one throwing crazy birthday parties, doing all kinds of crazy kids crafts. My 2 boys, Silas and Parker, really my goal for them is to help turn them into entrepreneurs. Okay, so Silas on the left, the youngest, already has done his first YouTube video. Any of you guys see that YouTube video? A couple of you guys? All right, great. So Silas did a video with me, and it was amazing to see like him talking and being on camera and not being scared of the camera. How many of you guys are scared of the camera? I am still to this day. It's not easy, right? I get jitters. And like just absolutely no fears, right? And that's what I want to help him kind of develop and accomplish. And I really want to help show him the way with entrepreneurships. And at the end of the day, helping each and every one of you guys and my customers really build a path, right, where you guys can swipe and deploy systems into your own business, just like David has done so for so many of you guys. You guys ready to begin? Yes. Let's do it. So every Wednesday, I run an Ask Me Anything webinar session. And the goal of the webinar session is for me to get content and questions from my customers, right? And so you guys can model this very same thing. So don't think like this is just something that I'm doing and that I'm special. I'm not special at all, right? You guys can literally take this, swipe it, and deploy it in your own business, right? So I have everybody, after they register, right, they can ask a question. And so this allows me to know what my prospects' questions are. Okay, and if you don't have a list, that's fine. I'll teach you guys how to do this without a list. And so basically every Wednesday, I show up at 3 p.m. Eastern, and I'll answer about 10 questions live. And I'm taking all of those questions, right, from basically a Google form. And so I try to concentrate each session on kind of 1 or 2 major topics. And this allows me beforehand to spend 10 or 15 minutes, right, just really planning out and thinking about what I'm going to do. So if I'm going to do some website audits, I realize that a bunch of people are asking me to do website audits for them. No problem. I'm going to build the criteria beforehand, right? Here are the 5 things that I'm going to check for or look for, and then I can apply that criteria, right, to all the sites that I'm going to do on that Ask Me Anything session. Okay, so this allows me to really get my lingo down. This allows me to really make sure that my customers and my prospects are understanding what it is that I'm saying, that it's really clicking in their head, and it's allowing me to fine-tune my messaging. How many of you guys have talked to a customer about something and they think it's uber technical? You don't. It's just matter of fact. And you ask them a question like, you're following along, right? And they're just like, okay, so this is how I develop my message, and this is how you guys can develop your message too. Are they getting it? Are they understanding it? Are they following along? So typically out of answering 10 questions or doing 10, right, typically 2 to 3 aren't good. They just like immediately go in the trash. Like either they're not topics that I want to talk about publicly. I did a horrible job. I went around and around and around and talked about the same one thing like 30 times, right? That happens. It's okay, right? So we trash those. Okay, and I end up repurposing out of the 10 topics anywhere typically from 5 to 7 of these. Okay, so this is just a quick snapshot of what the page looks like. So you guys can all feel free, rip the page, take a picture. You guys can, I'm sure, rebuild this landing page in probably 2 seconds with the tech that you guys have access to. So these 5 to 7 topics then get sliced up into individual YouTube videos. Okay, each and every one. So we're taking this hour-long webinar that I do, we're picking the best of the best content pieces, we're trashing the rest, and then we're slicing those up into individual content videos that go on YouTube. So in 1 hour session, I'm creating, right, the week's content. Everybody following along so far, yes? Okay. So every day, my content release schedule goes like this. Every day at 9 a.m. Eastern, the video drops on YouTube. Okay? So one of the strategies that you guys should have with your customer list, you know, the niche that you're talking about, that Zach talked about earlier, right, is you should be having them on every social channel that you're going after. You should have them subscribing. You should have them following you, right? So as you push out this content, they're getting all the notifications, right? So now you're not just relying on email. You're not just relying on your salespeople, right? Every single time you push out content, they're getting a notification. Okay, so we drop out at 9 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. The YouTube video then gets embedded on digitaltriggers.io with the transcript below it. Okay, we use rev.com to do the transcript. It's definitely my number 1 recommendation to do the transcript. The reason it's my number 1 recommendation, I guess just as a sidebar, is that they do it manually. So there's some AI that can get you guys about 90% accuracy. I just don't want to deal with the other 10%. I'd rather just pay to have it done for me. All right, so it's just not worth for me the time or effort. So we use Rev. They actually go through, they listen to everything, and the transcript comes out perfect like every single time. So, and then lastly, the content gets shared across all the major social media channels. So just kind of a little visual of that for you guys. Very simple, right? So step 1, YouTube. Step 2, blog post with the transcript. Step 3, it goes out to social. So this gives my customers, my prospects, new content, literally, folks, every single day. There isn't a day goes by that we aren't dripping out content at 9 a.m. Eastern, okay? And every time somebody's watching one of these videos, we strengthen our relationship, we strengthen our bond, and we strengthen our trust factor, right? It's like you going to sleep at night and watching your favorite TV shows. Like, you feel like you know the characters in the TV shows, right? You're like, man, that guy's such a badass. I want to be like that guy, right? Or that person's so smart, right? Whatever it is, you form a bond with them. This also gets me new prospects. Folks, literally every single day in the business. New prospects on autopilot in 1 to 2 hours a week. So let's talk about results. Those of you guys that know me know that I am all about results. If it doesn't move the bottom line, if I can't measure it, if there's no impact, I don't really care. On to the next. Organic search in the last 60 days alone is up 42%. So my website traffic from Google is up 42% alone. Social is up 56%. Referrals are up 124%. Check out this stat in the bottom left, 42,000 views, right? So in the first 2 months of this year, we got 42,000 views. What it says, 47,000 views, 43,000 views. In the first 2 months of this year. In all of last year, we had the same amount. What's that mean? Going to 6x the number of views at minimum that we're getting on our YouTube channel alone this year. So again, organic search up 42% in the last 60 days. Social referrals up 56%. Referrals are up 124%. Not only that, but there's some things, some impact that we can't measure so directly. Thought leaders are linking to my content without me asking, without me soliciting them and saying, hey, I saw you just did this article about X. Will you link to my article about Y, right? It's related. It's good. I think your visitors would like it. I haven't done anything. And you guys can see there's some major publications picking up our content and linking to it, right? Sites like Moz, WL Marketing, Acquizo, Lead Pages, Duct Tape Marketing, Diggity Marketing, 97th Floor, UpCity, Local U, right? All big major brands that you guys should recognize. So is this working? Again, and the beauty for me is that it's sustainable. It's something that I can keep doing. It's me only doing it for an hour to 2 a week. So currently, as we stand right now, if I didn't run another AMA webinar, right? If I didn't show up, I didn't do the work, I didn't record it, I didn't like any of the content, no matter what, right? I'm currently over 60 days ahead on content.
Thanks for tuning in and Show Me the Nuggets. For more exclusive content from Joe, please visit digitaltriggers.io.